Hi, my name is Angie Jannsen. I am a second grade teacher at Sumner Elementary. The lesson that you're going to see today is about graphs in reading. I wanted the students to notice that graphs are not only in math, but they're also in reading. In the part of the lesson that you are about to see, I am doing the objectives with the students. I always post the objectives on my board for them to see so they can see it throughout the whole day. And at the end of the day, we review them. But when I do the objectives in this lesson, I use mirror and I have the students repeat after me. It helps them be more engaged and think about what they're going to be learning in the lesson.
The learner will.
The learner will.
Explain graphs.
Explain graphs.
Is this reading?
Is this reading?
Or is this math?
Or is this math?
It sounds like math.
It sounds like math.
But there's reading. Graphs and reading too.
But there's graphs and reading. And graphs and reading.
I will.
I will.
Explain what the graph is telling me.
Explain what the graph is telling me.
Good. And mirror.
In the next part of the lesson, you will see my purposeful pairs. And in this lesson, I let the students choose their pairs to talk to. There are times that I choose for them where I require them to be with certain students, depending on what we're learning and what we're going to be talking about.
Please turn to a partner. One of you is peanut butter, one of you is jelly.
Jelly. Peanut butter.
And then face them, please. Is there anyone who still needs a partner? I'll be your partner. Would you like to be peanut butter or jelly? Just sit right here. Okay. Peanut butter, you're going to go first. Your job in 10 seconds is to explain to Jelly how graphs, charts, and diagrams help us when we read. Ready? Go.
Graphs, diagrams, and charts it's usually because they tell us what this and when it tells us something
And stop. Jelly, your turn. Explain to Peanut Butter how graphs, diagrams, and charts in a book can help you understand what you're reading better. Please face each other. Thank you. Ready? 10 seconds. Go. And stop. High five your partner and say, Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
In the next section, you are going to be seeing us talk about vocabulary, and we're working really hard on Tier 2 vocabulary in our reading. So I have the word that they're learning on a card with a picture to help them understand it better. And we talk about the word, we use our context clues to figure out what the word means, and then we post the words on the board, and they stay there for the whole year for them to review and use anytime they need to.
This word right here, it's a goofy looking word. Here it is. Buoyant. Say buoyant.
Buoyant.
Buoyant. Let's see if we can read the sentence with buoyant in it and figure out what it means. Newborn kits cannot dive because they are too buoyant. They just float in water. Do they tell us what buoyant means? What does buoyant mean? Colton? It means it's floating. Buoyant. They just float in water. So on this picture, there's a picture of a bobber. If you've ever gone fishing, sometimes you put a bobber on your fishing line on the end of the pool so that you can see when a fish is caught. It sits on top of the water, and when a fish comes and takes your worm, it goes under the water. A bobber, we would say, is buoyant. It floats on the water. They're talking about the baby beavers, the kits, and those animals, baby beavers, float. They're buoyant. Okay?
After teaching this in the whole group lesson, I have the students come to me in small group during the week, and I read a nonfiction book at their level with the small groups, and then I'm able to see which students are able to understand and use the graphs when they're reading, and we talk about it together so that I can figure out who exactly understands what I taught them in the whole group lesson. One thing that I felt went really well in this lesson was the students using the context clues to figure out what the vocabulary word was. They were able to read the sentence and decipher what the word that I wanted them to figure out was, so that new vocabulary word. If I were to do this lesson again, something that I would change is I would make more connections between the graphs in math and graphs in reading, and I would maybe do some kind of double bubble map with them to compare graphs in math and graphs in reading so that they can see they're not just in one, they're in both. Thanks for watching.